You told me before about the celebrity rats.
Well, Sandra Day O'Connor and O.J. Simpson. Sandra Day O'Connor, duck. O.J. Simpson has a cat. I call it a leopard. I'm not sure it is that.
Okay.
First enough, a picture of the same little cat turned up in Town and Country or something. I had it, but I was too dark to see what it was.
Now, how do you know that they're celebrities?
That's what he said. He said who they are.
Who said that?
They said they were her. She said it was her duck.
The rats said that? Or Sandra Day O'Connor said that?
The rat said
okay.
that is now being a duck.
Okay. So they talk to you?
Well, once in a while.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any pets?
Had a dog once.
I mean, sometimes a dog is related to you and will speak to you, I'm told, and sometimes a dog is not related to you and won't speak to you. So, animals apparently have a very highly conceived sense of metaphysical order and don't relate to you very, very well if you're not related. So, though there might be animals traveling around that you can take care of because they're having a trip, they might not always reveal their reveal themselves to you. It's a little bit on the bride with a veil on before marriage, but I think they tell you you're either married to the dog or you're not married to the dog, which means you either go with the dog or you don't. Did you feel as though your dog was ever taking part in handling your experience in the way, like thinking of some bright idea for you to take part in? If you thought about it, you might think your dog did think of things for you to do. You might think you could go to the store. They sort of take upon themselves the job of babysitting. Dogs often do. They sometimes think of things for you to do, what places for you to go, or people for you to go to see. So, dogs are more active, but they haven't revealed themselves to you if you don't really quite go with them, so you might not. Their presence is rather subtle along those lines. Then, what was I going to say? Are you a parent? No. Well, I was talking about religious, well, the problem of not having to deal with certain, the games you play as a child, for example, in the schoolyard. If you went to, did you go to Vermont school? No. But did you have that kind of kindergarten where you play tag and stuff? Well, those kind of children's games, I think animals sometimes play along with, and that's when animals are babysitting. I think they do take part a little bit. They teach them take part in teaching those activities. Then their presence is a little bit absent, you would think, in a later period of life, but I think they're mostly around quite a bit. For example, if you really did have a dog, it might go with you to college in terms of its soul without, in fact, it's being entirely true. The body might not go, but the soul would go with you. Then, when you get to be my age, I'm 50 years old, I'm not sure how it goes if you read the Bible in a very, very deep way, and I don't espouse a Christian faith. If you read the Bible in a very deep way when you're young, which I think most people would not, because quite frankly it's, do you know the Bible at all? I mean, I think it's sort of a heavy and obnoxious presence. But if you pick it up and look into it, there are certain kinds of religious truths which I think make themselves known. The wind, for example, God speaks to you in the wind and the rain. You know anything about those kind of problems? I think it's more common in the Catholic Church is that water thing, holy water thing. I don't know what you do call it. There's a special name for this kind of. So everything you go splash the water. I don't think you use it in religious services too much these days, but earlier did. You might find out some of those things there. There's a kind of perpetual dialogue between you and God, and it speaks to you in the rain and in the wind. But I think the experience is not rare, if you think I'm some sort of rarity, but one which adults have and sometimes put aside for some other kind of basic adjustment. I don't think God is always, I don't believe God is quite omnipresent, but might be. Sometimes it goes away.
That was at the injunction hearing. I think she was a Superior Court judge, and she had an extremely liberal attitude, and she had all different alternate solutions that she wanted to try before extermination. And one was to build a fence around the property, which is obviously not going to work with burrowing animals. And she even mentioned the fact that the town might be willing to supply enough food to keep the rats happy on the property. And of course the consequences of that would have been ideal conditions and rapid reproduction. So that would have quickly been something that would have been out of control.
I told him that just with the amount of testimony that was against him, he didn't have a chance. The best thing for him to do is take what he could get. And I told him that what they were doing is they were replacing the wood that they were going to haul off. They were going to get the junk car out of his yard for him. They were going to clean his place up for him. And I told him also there's a possibility you might be able to trap some of your pets and get them out of there before they start this. That didn't happen, but...
Right. The first day Warren and I were there, it wasn't 10-15 minutes after the placements were starting to be put out in the structure, and they started rustling in the walls, and they actually started coming out and dragging away the bait trays while we were there.
Our concern was that the anticoagulant bait would not control the problem because of the amount of protein that the rats were being fed from the dog food. So we had a conversation with our technical service department in Atlanta, and we decided to use a different form of bait, one that works on the nerves rather than the blood. Most anticoagulant baits will cause hemorrhaging. The bait that we use, which was a material called Vengeance, basically works on the nervous system.
Rat killer extraordinaire, Mr. William Burton.
Rattus norwegianus.
Bob, have you heard from any of the neighbors about worse or better activity?
No.
No?
Haven't heard of worse.
May they rest in peace.
Yeah.